The things I think.
Hey guys, welcome to The Things I Think. So, today we're going to take a look back at the interview with Hayden, and he's going to talk about sex. Gay, man on man sex. The need to knows, the sex safety stuff, all the things that I really cannot cover without researching, and I don't need to know that much in depth about it. But those of you who might be watching my channel might want to know more about gay sex ed.
So many people have this unrealistic expectation that sex is going to be amazing and it's going to hurt for a little bit and it's going to feel amazing. I am, of course, speaking specifically about gay sex. You gotta prep for that in most cases.
Yes, preparation is key. You cannot just go into it in the heat of the moment without preparation. You will regret it.
Not everyone is ready to do that. There are cases that some people are. And that's fine. Everybody is going to be different. I've known people who had to be stretched, and by stretching I mean fingering with lots and lots of lube. You can never have enough lube. And they need to be stretched for like a month before they can take a dick. And there's nothing wrong with that. The male G-spot is up the ass. There's no avoiding that. And it's going to feel weird. People are like, oh, it burns. And the burning sensation is absolutely correct. There is a burning sensation. The longer you practice anal penetration, the less the burning sensation gets. And some people don't like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can still have perfectly satisfying sex between men without anal penetration. The thing that I found most surprising that no one ever told me was that it feels like you're pooping. And you're going to be afraid that you are pooping, and you probably aren't. Don't worry about it.
It's just a dick coming up in and out of your ass.
And eventually you do learn how to tell the difference between, but for a while you get really confused and you think you're pooping.
And this is one of the many reasons why I'm glad I'm a lesbian and not a gay man. I would hate being confused if I was pooping or not pooping during sex. Kudos to you guys. Kudos. Because that sounds like a complicated situation.
And that's just me being straight with y'all. Let's be real. Sex is kind of gross, but it's great. And you need to be safe about it, and you need to communicate. If you are the type of person that likes your hair pulled, you need to be comfortable enough with your partner to ask them to pull your hair. If you are the type of person that doesn't like your nipples played with, a lot of men don't assume that you don't like your nipples played with. Be like, play with my nipples. Do not play with my nipples. And you should always ask for consent. Even if the other person, you think you have their consent, it's always, can I kiss you? Would you mind if I put my lips on your neck? Would you mind if I touched your dick? Would you mind if I fingered you? Would you mind if I give you a blowjob? And most people are going to be like, no. What do you think we're doing in this bed together? But it's way better to have permission than to go farther than someone is comfortable with and then fuck them up for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, because some people can't actually say no. They just get nervous and just don't want to disappoint you, upset you, scare you away. It's much better to ask. And if they say, hey, it's okay, I'm okay with everything, you don't have to ask every time, then that's fine. But until that line has been stated, you don't know where your boundaries are. Unless you talk boundaries ahead of time, you need to ask.
And sex is a two-way street. Sometimes it's more than two ways. Depending on what you do, Sex is a cooperative act. You can't have one person doing all the work and one person lays there. That's not satisfying. It's not going to give you any pleasure. You're going to get confused and start mistaking subpar, unsatisfying sex for the best that you can have. And that's not true. You can have the kind of sex that porn stars want you to think they're having, and you can have the kind of sex that you read about online, but you gotta be prepared to ask for it, and you gotta be prepared to move past your boundaries if you want to move past them, but you gotta know which boundaries you're not comfortable moving past. If you are not comfortable with some dude who wants to put his finger up your ass, you say, do not. And you know what? I actually had that issue once. I said, I do not want you to do anything with my ass. Do not touch my ass. And he tried anyway, and I got up and over, and I put on my pants, and I left.
For those of you who don't know Hayden, he's a very fun and animated guy. This is one of the reasons I love him, just his expression. He's just hilarious. Yeah, if you are not comfortable with something and people have passed your boundaries, get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of Dodge.
It's your body. You have the final say in it. You can't let people push you around, especially when it comes to something so important, because sex is such a personal thing. And you may think you want it, and you might not be ready for it, and you may have to accept that. And it will cause you a lot of emotional hurt if you do have sex before you're ready with someone with whom you're not comfortable.
And it doesn't make you like a baby or anything like bad if you can't detach yourself from the act of sex. It just makes you like very in tune with yourself and your emotions. Connecting with a person on that level of vulnerability, letting them see how your face reacts to certain things that happen to you, how you sound, that's a personal thing. You're vulnerable. So therefore, you're going to be sensitive. And some people can detach themselves, which is, that's great for them. You do you. But if you can't, don't force yourself, because you will regret it later, because emotionally you will be damaged. You don't want to be. You're like, why? I just wanted to have sex. But emotionally you'd be like, I just feel empty. And empty sex, if you are an emotional person, is never great.
And again, case by case, it is always different. It's always going to be different for every person, for everything. Oh, Fiera's trying to say hi. You need to be careful. The biggest thing I want anyone watching this video who has wanted to experiment with gay sex, specifically man-to-man, since that is where all my expertise lies, biggest thing I want someone watching this video to take away is that sex is about communication, and it is about asking for what you want, and it is about telling someone when they have gone too far. It is about communication at its finest, and you can use your words. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't want the lights on, ask them to turn the lights off. If you want to fuck in the shower, fuck in the shower. You need to be safe and you need to communicate, because without those two things, you are not going to achieve the kind of pleasure you want. There are couples, they together make the choice to start having unprotected sex, and that is always a risk you face. Even in married couples, that's something they face. And I am not by any means trying to romanticize sex, because romance and sex are two complete things that often go well together.
You have to put them together, though.
And
takes work.
Often are misinterpreted as being the same thing.
Sex
so you
does
gotta
not mean love.
It doesn't, and you gotta be prepared to guard your heart or guard your loins, depending on what you want.
Body.
It's your body. It's your mind, and it's your stability. At the end of the day, that is what is most important. It's you. You gotta take care of yourself.
Incredibly well said, Hayden. Thank you so much for being part of my show. I know that I and a lot of young gay men appreciate it. He will be back, guys. He will be back. I hope you learned something, and as always, have a nice night. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you liked it, and have a gay day.